Thanks, Rachel. Okay, well, let's get started. I thought I would just provide some program updates and let you guys know. One, we are working on the airline flights, and so I think right now the challenge is going to be getting a connecting flight from Chicago to Indianapolis. And if we're unable to do that, then we would probably pick you up in Chicago and drive back. And just to give you an idea, Chicago can be a little bit of a long drive, somewhere between 3.5 to 4 hours. So it's not ideal, but it is, possible to do that.
Yes, okay.
And I hope we can make this interactive. So if you have questions along the way, please let me know. But thank you guys all for getting the visas and working on that. I shared with you that we have lodging set up, so all of you will have an individual room for the stay. And on the Ball State campus, and there are food options, dining options available in that hall. There are 2 days where Ball State will be closed down for federal holidays. One of those is June 19th, and the other one is July 4th during the program. So we are working on arrangements to cover those dates. And so I might even try to have a cookout at my house and have everyone over for dinner. And we have some restaurants and things available nearby campus that we can go to. And then we also believe the residence halls have kitchens and some kitchen space available. We're just unsure whether or not that'll be open over the summer. The campus is pretty quiet over the summer months. So there should be a lot of space and things, but we're just a little unsure exactly what's open and available during that time. And I think Reza sent an email around, but we are trying to collect information. So if any of you have any like dietary restrictions or preferences on food, or like a vegetarian diet, for example, just please share that information with us, and we'll work on accommodations. And I think our dining services are pretty good at meeting those requests and adapting things. But there are some different food options available, and I do believe that you'll have a meal card, which is a card that you'll have money on that you can swipe. So you'll have some flexibility over where you eat. And there's a coffee shop, I think, in North Dining, although again, I'm not entirely sure if it's open for the summer. But there are some different restaurants. And there are a few places to eat on campus, but I think most of the meals will be provided right at the hall where you are residing. And Rachel, please feel free to chime in if I'm missing anything or you want to add here. And then I received, we were going to go over the program schedule, and I was going to go over some travel advice, but I received a message this morning from our program officer, and he indicated that when you were at the U.S. Embassy for the visa interview, they brought in someone to do an overview of travel and advice for travel, and then and then they went over the schedule with you, because I had shared the schedule especially for week 1 with the program officer. So we're still working on updating the schedule. I think we're adding to it, but that's kind of a general framework that we're building from. But I think the general program structure will be that a lot of days we do like kind of workshops or sessions during the day, and then activities in the afternoon and evening. And then we have activities on, I think, most weekends while you're here, although we've tried to reserve Sundays as an open day where you can do laundry and have some time to yourself to explore the Ball State campus. So I think we'll be available to support you on Sunday, but that day is kind of reserved with some more time available for you. And we can, if any of you, we do have an Islamic center in Muncie. And if you would like to make arrangements for Friday afternoons, we can work to accommodate that as well. Are there any questions at this point? We are hoping to do some travel from Ball State campus, especially week 2. So we are thinking about going to Cincinnati, which is a city in Ohio that sits on a river. It's an older city, and we would do a trip there. Cincinnati actually has an Uzbek community, and there are 2 Uzbek restaurants in Cincinnati. And so we thought that would be a good place to visit. It's also a pretty city, and we've made arrangements. They have a underground railroad museum that's kind of educational and covers the issue of slavery in the United States. And we thought about doing that, and then doing, an Uzbek restaurant together. But we would take a bus. We would leave in the morning, and the bus would take us to Cincinnati, which is about a 2-hour drive from Muncie. And then we would stay at a hotel there overnight. And the other trip yeah, go ahead, Rachel.
I was wondering if we wanted to introduce Emil to the group.
Yeah, I apologize. Yeah, we should. And maybe we can have
hey
students
everyone. Sorry, this is one of the instances that I have to wear a lab coat. Well, good to see you all. My name is Emil Kisamudinov. I'm from Chirchik city. It's really close to Tashkent. I'm sure many of you are familiar with that. So I graduated from National University of Uzbekistan in 2007. That's where I defended my master's degree. And then right after that, I come here to US. I was admitted to a PhD program at Bowling Green State. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about my journey once you come over here. And yeah, I'm really glad to see you all, and I'm really looking forward for the fruitful interactions between each of you. And I hope you're gonna learn lots of cool stuff about US. And again, do not hesitate, ask questions, because, especially if this is your first ever trip overseas and in US, like, some typical questions like how much money I need to bring with me? Like, is there any like cafeteria close to campus? Or say I have allergy for that particular food. Are there any other options? So, do I need to bring like shampoo with me or something like that? So yeah, so any questions are welcome at this point. So again, don't be scared, just go ahead and ask.
And maybe could each of you from Uzbekistan maybe just kind of introduce like with your first name and maybe the university that you attend?
Okay, almost.
So with those of you who are participating in the program, I don't know a good way to do this. Just kind of maybe go down the list. Or could some of you just say hi and introduce yourself?
Can I start?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Good morning, dear professors, and good evening, dear United team. I'm Asor Bey, and I'm a third-year student of the University of World Economy and Diplomacy in Tashkent. And I'm 20 years old, by the way. I think it's a brief introduction. Yes, thank you.
So in addition to this, I would like to hear one thing that you're looking forward to about this trip.
Okay, actually, when we were interviewed at the embassy of the United States in Tashkent, Toprak'e, the program officer gave us the draft form of the program and this program, and we looked into this program and we learned a lot about this program. Actually, yeah, it will be a nice treat for us, of course, to dive into the American culture and also to learn a lot of things in the United States of America. Actually, I think everything is clear for us now after the draft form of the program. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning and good evening. So my name is Remis Karimov, and I'm a third-year student at Karshi State University, majoring in English language and literature. So I'm also a volunteer at the local volunteer center, American Corner Karshi. And I'm looking forward to learning more about the United States, about American culture, and then after the program to sharing this information with people, with especially particularly with young people I'm working with. And I have some questions. May I ask you them?
Yes, yeah.
All right, so this question's regarding the first question is regarding clothing. So what kind of clothing should we take? I mean, should we only take casual clothing or something formal as well, like a suit or something like that?
This is a good question, and I don't. It will be warm when you are here in the United States, and I know I think Tashkent gets very warm at times or hot. So I don't know comparatively, and then we always have the problem because we use Fahrenheit here in the US and you use Celsius, but you know, it will be hot. So I think you know, shorts are often you know, and US students tend to dress fairly casual to the university from what I've seen compared to other countries. I don't think that formal dress will be required for any of the events we have at the moment, but it might be nice to bring at least one set of clothing. In the US, we have a term that's called business casual. So it's, you know, a somewhat nicer pair of long pants and a shirt. I think we're going to have like a final ceremony and dinner, but I don't feel that very formal dress like a suit will be required. So I think it's in part what you feel comfortable with. And then you will have laundry services. So you will have the opportunity, you know, to wash your clothes. So you don't need enough clothes to last for 3 full weeks. Fortunately, like we will be able to do laundry throughout your stay. But sometimes in the evenings and in the mornings, it can still be a little bit cool in the US. So having some layers, like a light jacket, could be helpful. Trying to think if any of my colleagues have suggestions.
Yeah, I'm going to add, David, to that, especially for you guys who from Uzbekistan. So we have quite dry climate. Now, here especially in the Midwest, just because of the influence of the lakes, we have quite humid climate. All right, so it's hot and humid. Well, it's not as hot as in Uzbekistan, but just because of the humidity, you know, one of the typical defensive systems against the temperature is sweating. So you're gonna be sweaty a lot just because of the, you know, your body gonna adapt to this climate. So therefore, I would recommend to bring with you really comfortable clothes. Okay, so something that you will feel, you know, really comfy to try for the travel, especially you're gonna walk a lot in the cities, right? So that's what I would comment on.
Yeah, comfortable shoes for walking would be good. And We do have a recreation facility, so we will have opportunities in the evening to possibly play basketball or volleyball, or if some of you like to go to the gym or walk on a track, there's going to be opportunities for fitness and things like that. So, and definitely that's a really good advice. Comfortable shoes for walking. It does rain in the US sometimes quite hard. We do have some storms occasionally, so umbrellas can be helpful, but we can try to, provide some of those things.
A few more items to think about would be bathing or a swimsuit. If
Mhm.
you're interested in going to the pool at the recreation center or the beach area, even if you're not into swimming, you may want to bring something like that. Also, I find that, yes, it's very hot and humid outside, but when you're in buildings, the air conditioning can be very, very strong to where you're freezing cold. So sometimes it's nice to have a layer like a sweater or something to put on. And then we will do a few activities probably that will require closed-toed shoes. So not sandals, just like a tennis shoe or something that would cover your toes. Good
Yeah.
question.
Thank you.
Do you have
I have one more question concerning insurance. So yesterday we got email from GeoBlue and they asked to register in the system. So we asked to type our address, and I personally have American address, Muncie, United States, Indiana 47306. Should I keep this address or write my Uzbek address?
I think for the insurance, it will be the address for Ball State where you'll
Ball
be staying. Yeah, so it'll be the Muncie address. And I'm sorry, I wish I would have known they sent you that email. I would have tried to provide information. I did provide your address for the insurance. And just to let all of you know as well that we do have funds in the budget to cover the insurance. So GeoBlue will invoice us, and we will pay for the insurance. The type of visa you have requires it's called a travel insurance. So it's there to, if there's a medical emergency, to cover you. And if you did not receive it, I will follow up with our office and work on getting that, getting insurance coverage for all of you.
Okay, thank you. And we also need to write our phone number. So should it be Uzbek phone number, or will you provide us with American phone number?
I think you should just use your cell phone number.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
I think that brings up a good point, though. If you plan to use your cell phones in the US, you may want to talk with your providers in Uzbekistan to see what options you have. In the Ball State buildings, we do have Wi-Fi, so you can use WhatsApp or FaceTime and things like that. And sometimes when I travel, that's what I rely on. I just use the Wi-Fi function. But just something to consider so you don't have a large fee later on with your phone.
Yeah, the Ball State campus tends to have Wi-Fi available throughout most of the campus. Wi-Fi is pretty accessible, but if we do travel off campus at times, you will have limited access during those times. Unless you have a SIM card or international calling plan.
Yeah. But while we're doing our class stuff and during the day, you're really not going to need your phone. We're going to have guest speakers and you'll be engaging in a lot of different activities. If you want to bring a laptop or an iPad or some sort of device, that would be helpful.
I think a laptop would be really helpful. And if you do not have access to one, if you please email me, I will work on seeing if we can have a computer to lend you during your time here. So if you need, there are some computers available in the hall where you're staying. I don't know how accessible they'll be during your time here. We do have computers in the library that students can use, and you'll have access with your Ball State ID card. But having a laptop would be helpful, and I think we could try to get you one as a lend it to you during your time here.
And I don't know about the electrical outlets in Uzbekistan, but we use 110 voltage here. And so you may want to get like a travel adapter for any plugs to match the US standards. So like when we go to Cincinnati and stay at a hotel, you have a way to charge your devices. David, in the chat, there are a few people that indicated that they did not receive an insurance letter.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly who sent that, but I will follow up. Our global affairs office asked me for your email address. And so I shared those. And so I'm guessing that they're working on just entering them in the system. So you'll probably, if you didn't receive something in the last day, you will probably receive something in the coming week. But I will follow up with them.
Good part of the day. I also want to introduce myself. My name is Nassar, and I'm from Tashkent State University of Law. So also I have one little question about the university confirmation. I mean, a letter of confirmation of our participating in this program. Because of the June final exams in June, probably we'll have the exams. So that's why we need to confirm that we participate in this program. So if there will be any letter of confirmation or any confirmation by embassy or something.
Yes, I apologize. That's really helpful for you to share that, because I did prepare letters for all of you that were required for the visa process. So I already have those letters. So I will share them with you by the end of the day, your evening. So as soon as we get off the phone. And please, anytime that you need something like that, feel free to write me and ask for it, and I will put something together for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. But I will send those letters by the end of the day. I have them in a large on a sort of online folder. So I will just share the folder with Access, and you'll be able to find your letter in there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Would someone else like to introduce themselves and see if you have any questions? I think your questions are wonderful. They're really helpful for the group, I feel like.
Thank you.
Okay, I also want to introduce myself. My name is Sabina. I'm 18, and I'm the second year student of the Silk Road International University of Tourism and Culture Heritage in Samarkand. So I have also questions about the money, just how much money can we take with us, and I mean, how much will be enough for us? Can you give any information? And the second question is can we take with us money in cash or only just in Visa card?
Sure, these are great questions. I'd welcome my colleagues to chime in. I would be prepared, like a general comment would be to be prepared when you're traveling and during your flight, you will go through through any points where you transition on flights through security, and it's good to be prepared with your travel documents, your passport, your visa. Those will be essential. And then you will at certain times probably be asked questions by as you're going through those transitions. And one that they ask you will be how much money you declare, and I think you're able to bring up to $10,000. So a lot in US dollars, which is a lot of money. So you should be fine. You know, with the program, we are trying to cover as many costs as we can in terms of food, lodging. But I know that it would be helpful, I think, at times to have, you know, some additional cash on you. And if you want to, you know, purchase things at certain times. So I guess it's a bit of an individual choice. And regarding the currency, I do think once you get to Indiana, there will be limited options to exchange money. We can arrange a trip to a bank, and I think, you know, if you need to, we can find an option for converting Uzbek currency to US dollars. But it would be better if you could do that, you know, in Uzbekistan before you come, to have US dollars in cash. And then the Visa card, you know, or a ATM card, most places in the US do accept those now. So that would be a good option as well. Does that, I hope that kind of answers your question.
David, I just say something about exchanging. I would recommend to exchange your home currency into dollar in Uzbekistan, because I personally had a problem with that. And like 2 months ago, I put some amount of currency in the system, and still it's not exchanged, because by bank exchanging it takes a lot of time. And in Indianapolis airport, they have a section for exchanging, and since pandemic that was shut down. And I would highly recommend it to exchange your amount, your home currency into dollar in Uzbekistan. That would be really good for you. But I don't know about other places in Chicago, or yeah, maybe.
Okay, I got answer for my question. And our supervisor, Miss Nigora, asking about our visa photos. Did you get this?
Yes, he sent me copies of the visas for some of you. He only had 6 of the visas, and I apologize, I can't remember off the top of my head. But I checked yesterday, and I do feel like I have copies of the visa for all but one of you. And I know one person still needs to pick theirs up.
Muyassar was missing.
Yes, I need to bring my passport on 30th May. After that, I will take mine.
Okay, yeah, just send it to us as soon as you get a chance.
Okay, thank you.
While I'm thinking of it, one thought that came to my mind: when you are traveling, again, you can bring currency up until a certain point, and then if it's over that amount, then you just have to declare it and fill out a form. But one of the things I will tell you that can cause a problem in customs is with food. Bringing some of your home food can, and I don't know if others have experience with this, but sometimes that can cause a problem in transitioning through customs.
Yeah, just don't bring the food. So your goal is to come here and try American food. And yeah, as David mentioned, in Cincinnati, there's a really great Uzbek supermarket called Samarkand.
No.
Some of you from Samarkand, right? So they have everything.
Something I would recommend that you do prior to departure is take a photo or a scan of anything that you bring in your wallet any important documents in case anything gets lost or you misplace it, or in worst case scenario, stolen. You want to be able to have a very clear record of what documents you have.
Yeah, that's good advice, Rachel. When I travel, I always share a scanned copy of my passport and my visa and share my itinerary with my wife so that you know, she can email it to me or to the embassy if anything happens.
Mhm. And we had a situation where unfortunately someone's wallet was taken in Paris, but they had scans of like the front and back of their credit cards. So immediately we could call the credit cards and stop those. So just try to think about how you can keep a record of that and share your itinerary with a significant other or family member. So if there's an emergency, they know where you're at.
Would someone else like to introduce themselves and ask a question?
Yeah, let me introduce myself. My name is Ozada Jalaldinova. I'm 20 years old. I study at Uzbekistan State World Languages University. I'm a third-year student, majoring Russian philology. And, you know, I have already visited official Ball State website and had a virtual like tour. Also watched all YouTube videos and watched YouTube videos about the places we are going to visit, like museums and other places, and saying that I'm excited is just not enough. So thank you for this chance for us that you are giving. We are so glad. Thank you.
Thanks. We feel very honored to have you
Yeah.
as part of this program.
And also I have a question. Will we have a chance to meet with Ball State students or whether they will be on holidays? Because we just want to interact with them, make some cultural exchange, and we also are preparing some small gifts like that reflect our culture, like small souvenirs and others.
Yes, this is something we're working on, and I think we're going to have hopefully a couple Ball State students who will stay in the dorms and participate throughout the program with you. And then we have some other opportunities. We're going to be working with a group called Digital Core on the Ball State campus. And there's going to be about 12 to 14 Ball State students there that you'll have the opportunity to work with on, you know, on a project that you want to do. And so we're still working on kind of what those project options can be, but we can produce media, and we're hoping to connect it to your area of interest. So it is a goal of ours to connect you with Ball State students. I will say that it has been hard during, like, following the pandemic. A lot of Ball State students do return to their home area during the summer months. So the campus will be much quieter and there'll be fewer students than normal. But we do have some summer classes and we do have some things going on over the summer, and it is a goal of ours to connect you with Ball State students as much as possible.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Good day. Can I continue?
Yes, yes.
Hi everyone. My name is Dilbar, and I'm also second year student at the Uzbekistan World Languages University, majoring in English philology. And I have a suggestion for our program. While I was making research in Ball State University and Muncie itself, I figured out that the creator of the cartoon Garfield, Jim Davis, works in Ball State University, or used to work, I'm not sure. I hope that he still works there. And that would be great honor for us to meet maybe with him in person. Maybe we could organize kind of speech, or maybe we could interview him about some interesting topics. That would be also useful.
Yeah, I should have mentioned this earlier, that suggestions are really helpful, and that's a wonderful suggestion. I'm trying to think. There is a Rachel, and I'm trying to see if maybe you know more. But there is a center. We can try to set up a tour of the Garfield. I don't know if it's a museum or
So there's a Garfield statue trail that we could look into, but that's a great suggestion. I haven't done anything like that, so that'd be fun for us too.
Thank you.
Yeah, he grew up here, I believe, and then attended Ball State, and is sometimes in the area. But I think he might have retired and moved. But there is like a visitor center, and I know I've met some people who work, you know, kind of with a
Okay, that would be great
yeah.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
so
you.
we'll work on that. We'll work on that.
Mhm.
Other questions or suggestions, things you guys would like to do?
Yeah, I can ask a question.
Sure.
Yes, I have a question about the dormitory, and I would like to know about what will be there. I mean, what will be in the room. For example, we should bring hair dryer, shampoo, or something like that. Can you give some clear info about it?
This is a good question, and it might be something we need to follow up with by email. I do know, for example, that towels and linens will be provided. So you will have access to, they will provide you with towels. And hopefully you saw in the video, there are, you know, on each set of rooms have a bathroom, you know, and showers, and I like basic things like hand soap will be provided. I'm just shampoo and conditioner, like one of the things that I'm a bit unsure about. For the American airline policy, like it's kind of crazy. You can pack things in your suitcase, but carry on, you're limited to what you can bring, like how many ounces of liquid. So you could bring a travel size with you, and we will try to make arrangements to go to, you know, grocery stores and places nearby if you need those items. So we can help pick those up, and we are working to try to reach out to some organizations too, just to see if we can, you know, provide some of those things if they're needed. But it's possible that shampoo might be available within the dorms. We're just, most of us as faculty don't live, you know, in there, so we're not exactly sure. We're all kind of learning through this process.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, we will put together a packing list with recommended items and other toiletry items you might need to help you in thinking about this. But as we mentioned, you will have access to laundry services, and you will have access to, I'm sure we will do a trip to Walmart or a different store called Meijer, which is a very large grocery store with all sorts of other items there with toiletries and things like that. So you'll have places where we can get items if needed too.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. So we could talk about a few of the trips that we're doing, and that may spur your thoughts or questions about other things we could do when you're here. So we'll go to Indianapolis, and in an area close to Indianapolis is a city called Noblesville, where Connor Prairie is located, and it's a living museum, I'll say, where you can see different houses that were built at different stages throughout Indiana's history and kind of get a historical perspective of Indiana. There's also, it's a tied down hot air balloon, but you can, if you choose to participate in going in this hot air balloon, to get an aerial view of what the land around this central part of Indiana looks like. We're also going to go to Indianapolis to go to the State House, so you can learn about the government structure downtown Indianapolis, which is the capital city of the state of Indiana. And we may be able to meet with some state representatives or a senator. And we'll go to the Indiana State Museum, so you can get a better understanding of the whole state's history. And there's some really neat exhibits there just about the history of the area. And we'll go to the zoo one day. We're hoping to go to Indiana Dunes National Park. So throughout the United States, there are a series of national parks, and Indiana Dunes National Park is the only national park in Indiana. So it's by close to Chicago and Lake Michigan. So there's a lake there and a lot of big sand dunes, which are fun. We'll go to a dairy farm and tour the dairy farm. There's a traditional dairy farm, and then one that's more advanced with technology and robotics, which is interesting. So those are some trips that we're planning. In addition, just while we're on campus, you're going to be interacting with people from a variety of different offices and backgrounds, and focusing on leadership, professional development, civic engagement. So we have a lot of fun activities, like an escape room that you'll do and a Lego challenge, and more is to be determined, but we're really looking forward to you coming.
And we will celebrate July 4th together, our Independence Day. So I think we're thinking about doing kind of a traditional American day there with a cookout and then fireworks in the evening.
Yeah, I think the cookout's at Emil's house, right?
Yeah.
Or close by.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
So if there are other ideas of things you would like to do or questions you have, please let us know. Or if you do some Google searching about Muncie, Indiana, or the Indianapolis area, and you see something that's interesting, we can definitely try to find ways to accommodate other opportunities into the schedule.
Can I introduce myself?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Probably it's my turn, I guess. Yeah. My name is Ulubek Abdullayev. I'm a senior student at Tashkent State Transport University, majoring in automation. And I have a question about the trips. Actually, quite a while ago, I wrote about top engineering universities to Professor David Roof. Yeah, probably you remember it. And actually, I know that the Purdue and UIUC are the great universities in the United States, probably the nearby our campus and at the Ball State, I guess. Is this program going to include those tours?
So we have talked internally as a group about doing Purdue. I know because we talked about that, and I shared that desire to do that. We've just had to reach out to people at Purdue to try to arrange that, and then we do have some logistical challenges because if we are going to travel to either Cincinnati or Chicago, both of those are in different states and they require us to do a charter bus, which is more costly. So we're just trying to kind of look at the cost and where we can go. So we're still looking into it as an option. I just can't promise anything at the moment. I think the University of Illinois, that's where I went to school as a side note. My wife went there as well. It's a nice campus and I love to visit. But it is about a 4.5 or 5 hour drive. So it is pretty far from Muncie. It's kind of weird because if you were to drive straight there, I feel like it wouldn't be too bad, but you have to kind of go around and over. So we will keep looking into it and try to arrange something at Purdue. I'm just not sure how how we can arrange it, but
yeah, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions or introductions, suggestions?
Last week, yes, when we made with the United team, we discussed about something to organize at Ball State University, and we are thinking of organizing Uzbek Cultural Day, I think. And I have a question: is it possible to organize some events dedicated to Uzbek culture? And we are going to organize Uzbek Cultural Day on Sunday, probably, because as I know, Sunday is off day. Yes.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. I think just let us know what you need and what we could do to help facilitate that. And Susan, I'm trying to think if Global Affairs too, maybe we can talk to them and do an Uzbek cultural. Sunday is usually a day where a lot of people in the US are off or do things with family, or so maybe too another option would be one evening, and we could try to engage some people from the community. And one of the things I was thinking that as well that might be really interesting, Ball State has a connected school, a lab school called Burris, and we have a local school district, and it might be interesting. A lot of the students are off in the summer, but some schools do have summer programs, and our YMCA, and there are just some other programs with high school students in the community, and I thought those might be really interesting to engage, to share information about Uzbek culture with them.
Yeah, you're right, David. Just general public in Muncie, because this will be quite unique. And I know that we have farmers market on Saturdays.
Yeah,
maybe we'll get a tent or something.
that would be great. We could bake some naan to sell, or to share with the community.
Yeah, got you. Thank you very much.
Reza shared some delicious Afghan naan and food with us with our family last week, and so we really enjoyed that tremendously. But I think Reza comes from a region of Afghanistan that's reminds me of the naan from Uzbekistan.
Yeah. Actually, the province where I live, it's bordered with Uzbekistan. You may know the border Hayraton. And yeah, we have
It's
a lot of
interesting. Yeah, Reza, I was born in Termis.
Oh,
Yeah, which is really close to your province.
you may heard of Balkh province.
Yeah, yeah.
Balkh.
And at some point I tried to learn Farsi. Well,
Oh,
does anyone here speak Tajik language?
Yeah, it's me here.
Yes, I am from Samarkand. I know Tajik
Yeah,
language.
Samarkand definitely
Yeah.
knows. Yeah.
Oh,
Ulugh-Bek
I'm
looks
from
like
Bukhara.
From Bukhara.
Bukhara. Oh, there you go. So you have
Yeah,
many common to share.
uh-huh.
yeah, proud.
That's great. That's great.
Well, if there are no more questions, maybe we should wrap up for now. And what we might try to do is plan just one more, maybe even a shorter meeting just prior to the flight, just so we can kind of review, travel procedures and suggestions and answer any final questions. Would that be helpful? Are these meetings? Okay. Because by then we should have your exact itinerary and we can help kind of share, the flight information with you. And we are working hard. I think one challenge has been to get all of you on the same flight, but I figured that would be more kind of comfortable having you travel as a group. And so, that when picking you up and those types of things, it'll make it easier to coordinate. And then, I will share my cell phone and we will have we're having someone help us, a travel agency. And so they'll be able to kind of help and guide you through the process of traveling. But we will work on that and keep you up to date about the insurance, the flights. It's Ball State policy is that we have to wait until we get your visa before we can arrange the flight. So that's why we've had to wait a little bit to do that. Okay, well, I think we'll wrap up for now. I will send an email to share the letters of invitation to all of you, and then we will follow up in the future with more information. And we welcome any questions or suggestions you have. And Rachel has been working very diligently to do the schedule. So she has been really putting together a lot of those fun events and activities. Do any of my colleagues have any final?
Not really. Yeah, it's a very good start. And again, so I'm really glad to see you all. And yeah,
Nice to
hopefully
meet
we'll
you.
soon meet in person.
Yeah, we're getting really, really excited here. It really feels now like everything's coming together. And so we're really excited to welcome you. And it's going to be, I'm just really excited about the program. It's going to be a really great program.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Have a good evening. Good rest of your evening.
Yeah,
You
thank
too.
you.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Mhm.
Thank you very much.